NewsNation reporter Britt LaFaso was born and raised in Louisiana. She's been following this story from day one, and she joins us now with valuable insight from a reporter who works and lives in that community. Britt, I'm confused about this car and the people who were in it. What do we know about who he was with at the end?
Right, so police have told us that Quawan Charles was with a 17-year-old teenager that he had known. He had met in the weeks before, and that teenager, that 17-year-old teenager, was with his mother. And that is who picked him up that day, because they were going back home to this teenager's house to hang out.
Britt, where does the investigation stand now? What are police saying?
Well, police are kind of talking about why they haven't issued an Amber Alert with the night that he went missing. They say that's because he was not abducted. They say that video that you just saw proves that he was not abducted, but a lot of people are still asking, why was local media not notified about this? Because he was missing, and then of course, 3 days later, he was found in a canal near a sugarcane field, and that field is actually right behind the home of the family that you see in that video picking him up, and these were the last people that were seen with him. I mean, where he was found was less than a mile from these people's home. And I think that is what a lot of people and investigators are trying to figure out right now. And that family did pack up and leave days after the investigation began and his body was found.
And Britt, is there any working theory, any speculation as to why anyone would want to bring harm to this young man if he indeed was killed, which it sounds like he was? What could he possibly done to have warranted that kind of reaction? What's the root of this?
I mean, at this point, we really don't know. His friends and family say he was a great kid. He was 15 years old. All he really did was go to school. And they kind of don't know at this point. They just know that he went to hang out with his friends that night, and for some reason he never came home, and for some reason the family that picked him up never called his parents to tell him if he left. They never called his parents to tell him that he was on his way back home. We don't know if they were supposed to bring him home. There's just a lot of unanswered questions right now.
Britt, how did they find his body, and what, if anything, have we learned from the autopsy? Has that been released?
Yeah, the autopsy was released. It's a preliminary autopsy. It says that he drowned in this canal, and the family didn't believe that at first because they released a picture that the coroner had taken during that autopsy, and it's too graphic to show, but I mean, about a fourth of his face is missing in this photo, and he was out there maybe a couple of days. He may have died that night. We're not sure, but they were really wondering, if he drowned, how was it that a fourth of his face was missing? And the coroner says that's probably just because aquatic life was feeding on his face in the time that he was out there, but the family still does not buy this.
So was there an official cause of death? And again, how did they find his body?
Yeah, the official cause of death was drowning. And they found his body. Well, Baldwin police, where Quawan Charles lived, they were handling the missing persons investigation. And he was found in a neighboring parish. And so 4 days later, after there was really no progress on that missing persons case, the parents of Quawan Charles actually went to Iberia Parish, just kind of spread out, talking to law enforcement, said, listen, our son is missing. We don't know where he is. And within the hour, that Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office, they pinged his cell phone, and they found that it was in that field, in that canal where they found him, and it brought them back to where his body was.
Britt, we have seen the protests in the report that we just aired, and we also heard the tearful plea from his mom. What is the family and the protesters, what are they hoping to accomplish right now as the investigation continues?
Well, really, they just want answers for the family at this point. But, I mean, another thing is I was at the protest on Saturday, and while they were marching down the street, they marched through Baldwin streets to the Baldwin Police Department, and they were chanting, no justice, no peace, no racist police. And a lot of people think that if Charles was a white teenager, that his case would have been taken more seriously, because again, it sounds like all police did was kind of file that missing persons report, and they weren't able to track his location further than that. So people really are asking for a way for the police to change the way they handle investigations, not only dealing with missing persons reports, but also, the factor of race here.
And Britt, real quick, we have just a few seconds left. You live and work in that community. Did you get the sense that this particular case was handled differently than in other cases of missing kids?
Yeah, honestly, I did a little bit. We get advisories from local law enforcement agencies all the time about maybe a runaway kid, about somebody that, never came home after school one day. So, knowing what we know now about this case, that these people that picked him up that day did not have permission from the family, and they never brought him back home. They never reached out to, check on his parents or anything like that. It did make me question why we, as local media, never even knew that this was happening, that he was missing.
Britt, thank you so much for your time and for your reporting and for enlightening us all about this case tonight. It certainly is heartbreaking and a lot of questions. We certainly hope justice prevails here. Thank you so much.